All right, so different style of review video today. So let me know if you want to see more like it. But in today's video, we're going to be looking at the HopeStar H20 Bluetooth speaker. Now, let's just quickly take a look at what's inside of the enclosure or inside of the box that comes with the speaker. We just have some very basic foam, and down the bottom in a little plastic bag, we have our cables here, which consist of, let's open this up, a 3.5 millimeter cable for the auxiliary inputs, and we also have a micro USB cable to charge the device. So with that being looked at, now let's have a look at the HopeStar H20 Bluetooth speaker itself. First of all, let's just quickly start with the build quality of the speaker. Initially, it feels a little bit cheap. It's pretty plasticky around the outside of the enclosure, but it is quite weighty, so it doesn't feel too bad. It feels pretty solid, and like it would take a few drops here and there if you were to accidentally drop it. But alongside the build quality, we have on the bottom here this massive rubber pad, which enables the speaker a lot of grip on tabletops and other surfaces like that. On top, we have some very nice buttons that are very, very clicky and nice rubber material on top of them. And on each side, we have a passive radiator that moves a lot when there's low bass music playing. This speaker doesn't seem to have any subsonic filter, so low bass will go straight through those passive radiators, and I'll touch on sound quality later on in this video. On the front, we have this nice meshy sort of material that makes it seem as though it would be water resistant. However, I can assure you that this speaker is not water resistant at all. As well as that, the grill actually sort of muffles the treble. Again, I'll touch on sound quality later. On the front, we have a massive HopeStar logo here, which is the brand of the speaker. This is the H20 model. And that's pretty much it. This speaker here is in the black, of course, which has this sort of rose gold, goldy color ring around each side of the passive radiator. And there's also a white and a blue version of this speaker, and I believe a red. As well as that, on the back here, we have a micro USB input to charge the device. We also have a TF micro SD card input, which is able to put music on, so you can use this speaker without having a phone for Bluetooth connection or so on. So if you were camping and didn't want to take your phone, put a micro SD card in there and you can play music without your mobile phone. As well as that, beside, we have a USB output, which we can use to charge devices, say your phone or something like that. Besides that, we also have an auxiliary input and an auxiliary output. This thing can be used as a Bluetooth receiver. Now, I've found that even using the input and the output of the Bluetooth speaker at the same time, you can't get the speaker to run whilst the output is running, which I found really weird. I plugged in the auxiliary cable into the input here and plugged it into the output as well to another Bluetooth speaker, and only the other Bluetooth speaker started playing. So I found that a little bit weird. And again, same with Bluetooth. It turns the speaker off whenever you use the output, which is cool if you want to use it as a receiver, although you can buy receivers for a quarter the price of this speaker. So that there is the overall build quality. Now let's talk about the sound quality. Now, the first thing when you boot this speaker up, you hear is its on tone, which is quite loud and quite obnoxious, to be honest, sometimes, as you can hear there. And it sort of sounds like a bit of a JBL knockoff. Now, the sounds and noises this speaker makes are very interesting, as you can hear. Some of them are direct copies from the JBL series, like the Extreme, the Flip, those types of speakers here. You can hear when I turn the volume all the way up. That is a JBL sound. As well as that, whenever you're connecting to a device or something like that, you get a Windows error sound, which is quite weird. So the sounds I'm not a big fan of this speaker. However, really, who cares about the sounds as long as it actually sounds good in the long run. So moving on to actual sound quality, the speaker has bass. This thing actually has some really, really nice low end, possibly some of the best low end from any Bluetooth speaker I have personally. Compared to the JBL Extreme, it's, you know, the JBL Extreme's also 4 or 5 times the price of this thing. However, it's got a solid amount of low end, but that comes with a major draw. The treble is very, very lacking, and I believe it is due to the grill, because I have actually removed the grill on this speaker before, and the treble appeared to come back, and I had no issues with lacking treble. So I believe the grill material is as though it was going to be waterproof. However, the speaker lacks the waterproofing, and the treble is then punished in the long run because there is not that much. You need to put some sort of EQ on if you're going to use the grill, which is what I have been doing since I've had the speaker, and I won't do it in the sound demo, but in the sound demo I'll do with and without the grill for you guys so you can see the differences. But anyway, one of the major drawbacks I've had with this speaker as well is low volume listening, or the lack thereof. When you are using this speaker at low volumes, there is a really bad distortion problem. When at volumes probably below half, you can hear that there is distortion, be it piano or whatever, and the lower the volume, the louder or the more noticeable the distortion becomes, which can actually be really distracting and actually makes this speaker quite unusable at low volume. So I wouldn't recommend it for that. However, jamming it out at loud places, say you're taking it somewhere and you want to use it really loud in the park or something like that, it's really good for that. However, I would not recommend it if you want to sit it on a bedside table and listen to nice quiet music at night time. That it will not do without ridiculous amounts of distortion. So there it is, my review and thoughts on this speaker. The battery life is pretty solid as well. There are 5 LEDs on the top here, which I thought were battery life indicators. However, they did not move between a full charge and like fully running it out. So I'm not too sure what those actually are, and charging it, there are some very weird series of LEDs that light up when charging. So I haven't quite worked out the whole how the battery works LED system on the front here. But anyway, that is my thoughts and opinions on the HopeStar H20 Bluetooth speaker. If you're in the market for an $80, I believe it is, Bluetooth speaker, then it's a great option. It's got a ton of bass for music. If you want to put it in a corner or something like that, it has ridiculous amounts of bass. Although I would highly suggest removing the grill if you want to use it for nice treble listening and you want a bit more treble, or use an EQ on your phone, because most phones have an EQ in them. But low volume listening is just unbearable. Build quality is alright, and I'd recommend it for $80 if you wanted to just go out and buy a Bluetooth speaker, but you didn't want to go and buy a JBL Extreme. So there is my review of the Bluetooth speaker. I want to thank GearBest for sending this thing out to me for a review. The link will be in the description to go and purchase this speaker exactly where I got it from. So there it is. Now let's jump over to some sound demos and hear how this thing sounds for yourself.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
So as you can see there is a lack in treble with the grill on. With the grill off, however, there is a much better improvement on the treble because it becomes much clearer without the obstruction of the grill in the way. But anyway, there's my review of the HopeStar H20. If you guys have enjoyed this type of review, the different style being in front of the camera like this, please let me know with a like on the video, because it just means a lot to show me that you guys are showing support on these videos and you want to see more Bluetooth speakers like this on the budget for review. But anyway, with that being said, if you guys have enjoyed this video, again, chuck a like on it. Comment down below if you would purchase this speaker or what your thoughts are on it. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I really do hope you enjoyed this one.